I got laid off 2 months before turning 30. In my last video, I talked about how I kept on pushing myself to learn more and earn more. Finally, when I felt safe and I didn't want to chase another job, another city, I thought that I'm entering my 30s with this new found emotional safety and calmness and peace. But do you know what I did when I got laid off? I bought Coursera subscription. I went back to my old patterns and my old surviving mode and this learning space that I talked about in my last video. And not only that, I bought the subscription, but I spent the next 3 days taking courses, 2 courses parallelly. All that focusing on other area of life. What's the gym? What's the sleeping schedule? I stopped going to the gym. I stopped focusing on my sleeping, nutrition, and I just focused on those 2 courses. And not only those 2 courses, okay? I looked into neuromarketing, neuroscience, psychology. I was so into it because my only goal was to how fast can I get another job? And my body said, enough is enough. I got sick. I had fever, cold, I lost appetite. I just could not get out of my bed. So for the next 2 weeks, I was laying on my bed, feeling guilty that, oh my God, I want to take courses, but I can't take courses because I can't focus on anything. So while I was forced to take a rest, I started asking myself questions. Was all of that emotional safety and regulated nervous system that I felt, was it external or internal? Was it stable? The moment something happened, I went into a freeze mode. I went to overfunctioning, learning, and just focusing on the next step, which was helpful at one point because that helped me to pay off my education loans and to get a better career, better lifestyle. But I don't think that I could do that for the rest of my life. So while I was on my bed resting, I started thinking about, do I still want to be a product manager? Was it born out of interest or pressure? Why do I want to become a product manager? And I do enjoy product management. I love the process. It's not what I do for work, it's how I do it. So I need to learn to have balance because tech industry in itself is really demanding. So I need to build a life outside of the work that feels more calming and regulating. So that's what my 30 is going to be about. I'm going to focusing more on, yes, on my career and still becoming the best version of myself in that area, but at the same time I'm going to ask myself more questions on how can I feel and build internal emotional safety? How can I figure out my triggers and how can I calm my nervous system? What makes me feel soft and happy? Recently, I discovered that when I lit a candle and take a dark shower while jazz music is playing, it instantly puts me in a calm mode. It brings out this peace in me which I love. Find things that naturally brings inner joy, to move slowly, to be intentional, to not always rush into things and take a moment to relax, because life is not just about what you learn and what you earn. It's about building a nervous system that feels safe, a life that feels steady, a version of yourself you don't have to escape from. It's about the way your morning feels, the friend across the table who knows your story, the sunlight on your skin reminding you that you are here, now. It's not about choosing depth over urgency, presence over performance, meaning over momentum. And maybe that's what growing up really is, not chasing more, but learning how to be fully here. So, if life is not just about achievements, that means I need to build my 30s differently. I just don't want to enter that era accidentally. I want to enter them intentionally. I have 60 days before I turn 30. So, instead of spiraling, I'm going to use these days and learn how to regulate my nervous system, how to build routine, what kind of woman I want to become in my 30s. I've spent most of my 20s focusing on one area of life, that is my career. And I've done well in that area, but fulfilling life isn't built on just one pillar. The next 60 days before I turn 30, I'm going to focus on all the other areas of life: my health, nutrition, emotional well being, relationships, career alignment, and personal growth. Not to become someone new, but to build a life that feels balanced. If you're navigating a new chapter, or rethinking what success means, or building a life that feels as good as it looks, I would love for you to follow along. Subscribe if you want to see how this next 60 days unfold.